And here we have the James Rizzi inspired ocean scene that I did. I used cardstock and I drew all of these animals on the paper with pencil. I outlined them with Sharpie and then I painted them. I had to do a couple coats of paint because the paper is very dark, but it was worth it. So my shark was first painted white and then I painted the gray on top, did a couple coats on the octopus. And if you notice, all of my fish and the octopus, they all have some added little details, some stripes or some spots. That's very James Rizzi. I also was inspired by James Rizzi to create an animal of my own. I have not seen a jellyfish of his, but I did my best to create one that kind of looked like maybe something he would do. One thing I mentioned in the information about him was that he did artwork that popped up. So what I did was I created some doubles. So I did a double fish and a double dolphin. And what I'm going to do is talk to you about how to raise those up to make that 3D effect. So I used, for this, I used copy paper and I used my tracing technique. So what I did was I laid the paper on top. I just took a regular piece of paper like this, I laid it on top, and I put a light behind it and I traced through. The flashlight on my cell phone worked pretty well for that. So you can play around with it and see how you can get it to trace, and that's how I got pretty much the exact same shape. I also did one with the dolphin, but with the dolphin I did something a little different. I ordered some toys for my kids, and there was this plastic, this thin plastic, and I thought, oh, I could use that for something. So let me show you how I did that. I used this plastic and I laid it on top. Let's find a fish that will work. This little guy right here, he'll work. And I used my Sharpie marker and I traced the Sharpie edge of the I did that of the dolphin. This is a fish. So you can see that now I have a copy of it. And then you would cut it out. This is very easy to cut, this plastic. And I cut it all out and then I painted it with acrylic paint. And how I did that was I flipped it over and I started to paint with the acrylic paint. And I had to do a couple coats. But the neat thing is that on the front, when you flip it over, it's nice and smooth looking. So that's how I created my dolphin. I did the gray on the back, and then I added some of the details on the front. So that's one way that you can add that pop-up element. You don't have to have the animal right on top. You could have it somewhere else, that's up to you. But I kind of liked that 3D effect, so I'm gonna keep that going. So for my fish, I'm going to use a toilet paper roll. So I'm just gonna put some glue just on the toilet paper roll like this. Put that on here. I can put a little bit more on like this. And I'm just going to put it on top like that, and it creates a really neat 3D, oh, my dolphin's swimming, 3D effect. That's very James Rizzi style. You can do this with the buildings, with the birds. He did it with all of his art. Now the dolphin didn't really work with the paper towel roll. The toilet paper roll, it's a little too big. So I'm just gonna show you another way. I just have a little piece of cardboard. And what you can do is you can just create a stack. So you can create little squares of cardboard and you can stack them up on top of each other. So I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue, make a little stack. 1, 2, you can do a better job making them nice and even. I did not. 3, and that will give it some height. You can even make another little stack. Put some more here, put it on top. And again, you have that 3D effect. And you can see that it's creating some shadows. When you move it, you can see the shadow a little bit more. So if you want to do this lift up technique with any of the birds, the cow, come up with your own, that's fine with me, as long as you enjoy yourself and stay creative.